for tools that I think that entrepreneurs need to be using. And I'm a very big fan of videos and using videos to market your business, using videos to educate potential clients and even your clients as well. And I've always been looking for a video platform that gets the job done. And I don't want to spend time explaining myself because I just got the founder on here to do a better job than me. So go ahead, Chris. Let's let the audience know who you are, and we get started from there.
Sure. So my name is Chris Savage. I'm one of the founders of Wistia. I'm also the CEO, and I am a resident ping pong player. So it doesn't hurt either. But Wistia is a tool that's designed to make it easier for businesses to host, share, and analyze video. So our goal is just to help companies get as much value as they can out of video. Video is often like a new thing that it's still a new thing that companies are doing. And it's really important because it's the only opportunity you have to tell your story in a time-based format, right? Like there is a timeline. You can tell a story. You can demystify really complex things that would have taken pages and pages or whatever. And our goal is just to make it like, okay, you're bringing stuff online, you're putting it out to your audience. We want to help you figure out what your audience cares about. Whether that's if they care about a particular element of your video making style, or if it's even helping you get more insight into which parts of your products people like. That's like one of the major goals of Wistia, and we try to build a delightful product that makes people happy. So
definitely. And people might think, okay, why would I even use Wistia? Why don't I use like a free tool like YouTube, Vimeo, and all those tools? And let me explain from my own experience. Tools like that, YouTube and all that, they're great, but they only tell you the counts of the video, like how many people clicked on your video. And that's it. And if you like me who do a lot of video and want to really see what in my videos do people like, the cool thing with Wistia is that it dives in and lets you see which parts of your video people like to watch the most. So if you say something in the video and it resonates with the audience, obviously you're gonna take it back to that point and restart it over again and see what did they say in that video. And if a lot of people keep doing that, then it builds kind of like the data that, hey, there's this section in your video people love, and you as the entrepreneur can go back and say, hey, okay, if a lot of people that watch this video like the way I say certain things or how I explain this concept, maybe I can use that for all my other videos and build upon that, and I love that about the tool. So one thing I want to do right now is see if we can give the audience kind of a demo of how Wistia works.
Sure. I'll run through the application if you'd like. It's probably the easiest way to do it.
Definitely. Let's do that.
Okay, let's see here.
Okay.
Share screen.
Viewers can make use of Wistia.
So it's pretty easy, but I'll just walk you through kind of getting set up and uploading a video and everything. So this is the basic interface. We can go ahead and create a project. You can upload your videos into projects to keep them organized. Uploading is really easy. In this case, you just grab it from this Project Actions menu. I'll just upload some images so that it's fast. How about that?
Yeah.
So images or video, whatever file format will upload right here on the page. Once it's converted, you can imagine this is a video. You can get an embed button. So let me show you a video with an embed button. So here's an example of some stuff we already have up here. Just take the embed code. You can then customize it and change the size and set up for different types of places where you would embed it, all that good stuff. Copy and paste the code, and then that's it. Put it on your site, and then the result of this is you get these analytics. So let me show you. Let's go actually most plays here. So this is an example of videos and plays over the last couple months. And what we see here, this is a video that's live on Wistia.com. You can go to wistia.com/product/tracking to see this, or just click on the front page of the video heat map tracking. This is what we're getting is a picture, an aggregate graph on the upper right that shows us how the audience is responding. So when the graph is going up, it means that people are rewatching that area. When the graph is going down, it means that people are turning off the video.
Okay.
So in this case, about 75% of people who click play watch the video all the way through, which is actually really good. And we see that up to 20 seconds in, 100% of people are watching this video all the way through. And in fact, people are rewatching the first area of the first area of the video. So the point of this video is to help people learn about our heat map. So this actually makes sense. At 20 seconds in, I say you can rewind and try to scan. A lot of people do that. And so we get a picture of how many page loads there were, how many visitors came to the page, what percentage of those unique visitors clicked play. We also call this the play rate. Think of it as like the open rate for an email. And then this is the video plays, right? So this is kind of like what you would get on YouTube or Vimeo, is just the kind of number of plays, and then the percent that people are watching on average if they're rewatching areas. And as we scroll down the page, we can see examples of actual people who've been coming through watching this video. And the green parts mean that someone watched the video once. White means that they didn't watch it at all. Yellow means they watched it twice. Red means they watched it 3 times, and so forth. And so it builds these heat maps about what people are interested in. This video is pretty unique because people are learning about heat maps. So you can see like this guy in the Netherlands really like skip through that video a lot. Yeah. But if you're trying to, if you're selling a product, or you're marketing yourself or a service, or you're even just making interesting content that explains stuff to others, when you go back to that graph and you see like, oh, if this was dropping off really dramatically, you know that whatever was happening at that part of the video was just not holding people's interest as well as it was previously. Mm-hmm. And the reason that's important is the same reason why you'll stop watching, a TV show if you end up not being able to make it through it. Like if you start watching some new show that comes on NBC, I don't know why I'm going to mention them, but say you're watching some show on there, and you end up never making it through an episode because it just doesn't hold your attention. Mm-hmm. Then, like, over time, you stop watching that show, right? Yeah. Like, you stop even trying. And the same thing happens online because people are taking a risk when they click play. Like, they don't know what they're going to get, and they're hoping they find something interesting. But if you make a lot of content that people never make it through, then they're going to stop watching your videos, and they're going to stop engaging with the rest of your stuff. So that's why it's important, right? Because you can figure out all that stuff, and then because you can figure out the context of what's on the screen, you can work to make your videos more effective.
And that's really great because on my own perspective, where I create a lot of videos, you really want to know what exactly is working, and which sections of your video, or what type of topics you talk about really gets your audience really engaged. And with the other mediums out there like YouTube, Vimeo, and all that, all you can see is maybe where they're coming from, what countries they're coming from, and how many times they're clicking on your video. But that's it. But with and what I love with Wistia, you can really dive in and see which sections on the analytics we see here, what is really working, and then you can now take that information and look at your own video and say, okay, between here, this section and this section, this is what I'm talking about. And they like the way I say, this certain things. They like what the content or what the topic I'm talking about. Then let me now see how I can turn this whole style of, a topic into a whole big video where it's now, what they love is what you're giving them in another video, but the full version of the video, and bring them back and get them really engaging. And what I also like this tool is that it not only it tells you how many people land on the page, but then it tells you the next thing, which is how many people actually click to watch the video. So you can kind of see like what's the word for it, like a conversion from them land, because they can land on the video page but not even watch the video or even click it.
Yep, absolutely. And I think you're right on with that stuff. And I mean, the thing I always say with YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world. So if you have the kind of content that people are going to be searching for, it's a good strategy to put that stuff in there and to have links back to your sites.
I do that.
But and I think the issue more is on your site, when you finally have someone on your site, which anybody who's marketed anything realizes that's pretty tough to get visitors. You don't want people to drop out of your funnel, and the way they drop out of your funnel also is like if they're faced with the YouTube embed and they finish watching, and then a related video comes up which is for your competitor, or an ad pops up which is for your competitor, or it's just like it's keyboard cat video. then you click through and you watch that stuff. And I mean, that's YouTube's game. That's their business, is getting you to spend time on their site watching things. I mean, it happens to me. I think it happens to everybody. And, I think that's the other piece of this that is important.
Yeah, and the thing too is, because you're not in control of those platforms really. So on sites like that, yes, it's free, but if anything changes today, all that engagement that you're creating, especially if you're not creating a list based off people that are watching your videos, because there's on YouTube there's no way for you to have them sign up for a form or anything. The only thing you can do is put a link for them to come back to your site, and hopefully some of them sign up. But if you have a platform where with Wistia you're putting the videos on your site, and yes, maybe you're going out there and also putting several videos on other field website, but the reality now is you're in control of when they come to your site, what they see. You control what they see and the kind of message that is in front of them, hence no distraction. And another thing I like about Wistia now is we can even zone in down to like on a more granular level where you're looking at specific people and how they watch your video.
Yeah.
And I think that itself can also be kind of like especially if it's a sales marketing video where you're marketing a specific product or whatever, and you now see individuals watching your video. I'm trying to figure out how can one now take that information and use it to figure out who is the best person to go after and see if they can take the next level and actually buy your product. That's what I understand.
Yeah, so we actually have a technology that we call identity tagging, where you can tag the viewing sessions, all of these things, with people's emails or unique identifier that you have in your own system or whatever. So if you have some way of figuring out how that person is at some point, you can say this is Chris, this is Owen, this is Joe, this is Bill, this is Jim. And then if Jim just watched, I think the perfect example is webinars, right? If Jim just watched an hour-long webinar, he's probably pretty interested in whatever that webinar is about.
Definitely.
But maybe he didn't reach out to you because he doesn't know the best way, or he's just he has too many questions and he doesn't want to, whatever.
Yeah.
You can kind of almost do him a favor, because you could just send him a quick email that says, hey, let us know if you have any questions, it's been a while since we last talked or whatever. And then the guy has an open door to really communicating, and you know who to contact, and he doesn't feel, it's useful for everybody.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it gets really, really interesting. We have a lot of people doing that now.
That's mind blowing, man. That's mind, because if you do webinars, and also how they have webinars on demand where it's kind of it's not the live webinar, it's kind of like a webinar where anytime they want to watch it, they can get access to it. So if they already signed up for the webinar, you put them in your email list, and then you send them an email saying, okay, go to this specific link to watch the videos, which happens to be Wistia videos that really tell you who is watching them.
Yeah.
Then you can really tell, okay, out of this 100 or so people that come to the video, which 20% should I really focus on? Applying the 80-20 rule. You can see those who watch the entire video. And wow, I feel like I'm making an ad for this thing, but I really understand. I want my audience to understand that you want to go past the counts. You want to see what really gets people excited about your stuff.
Yep. I mean, the goal too is that you do this stuff on your own site where you control the environment, or you let people embed your Wistia embed or whatever. But you can take these learnings and do other stuff with them. I mean, I think that's what's just so interesting is you figure out how to make your stuff more engaging. Or in our case, we figured out certain elements of our videos were just less effective, and some of those elements were certain areas of the product that we thought were exciting and no one else cared about. And so we de-emphasized those elements of the product, and the result was more people were seeing the exciting stuff, and we got more buzz from it. And that was not just in videos, that was copy on our website and images we chose and where we decided to advertise and all that other stuff. And I just think that there's something different about someone clicking play to listen to a story about something. And I think it's the same thing, the thing that motivated us to make this in the first place was when you're in person with somebody, or when you are giving a presentation to a room of people, it's pretty obvious if they don't give a crap about what you're talking about, you know?
Yeah.
They're nodding off. They're not interested. Everyone's got the BlackBerries out, or worst case scenario, people running out of the room. Never happened to me, but, you know, give it time. I think that there's this feedback that's just inherent in all interactions. But then when you bring video online, that feedback's completely gone. That kind of feedback is it's just been eliminated. And the thing is, the point of video is to do the same thing that you were trying to do in person. It's like you did that presentation to 100 people in the room, but they recorded it and 200,000 people watched it later. You know, you just scaled the hell out of that presentation. Yeah. But like, if you skip that in-person thing and you just go online and you can't tell how people react, you can't improve it because you don't know what to do. So yeah. I think that's really what it's about.
Yeah, it's the whole quantifying thing, you know, so you just see what's working compared to what you used to do, and really to be able to validate that it's actually working based on seeing this kind of data, the results. That is what makes, to me, Wistia the way to go. What other features do you think my audience might want to learn about Wistia?
You know, I mean, I think it's just going to depend on what each person wants to do. You know, we're pretty proud of the care of the design and the interface, and the fact that you can upload videos and other content. By that I mean even Word documents and Excel spreadsheets and PowerPoint presentations, and we convert that stuff so it can be seen on a web page. And then you can take those things and take your video and, you know, put it on your website. I think that's the normal thing that most people think about. But we actually have a lot of people who take videos that are in progress or they're doing reviews and approvals on, and they'll share those through Wistia, because when we actually started, Wistia was initially just a private environment for sharing video. And it was over time that we evolved into this kind of like all the marketing stuff that we do now. So at our core, that's one of the things that we're used for. And actually a lot of companies use us just for the reviews and approvals stuff, like for the private sharing stuff. Like NBC, Law and Order, A&E, you know, they're all using they're using Wistia to do this like private sharing of like really professional content. So I mean, I get excited about that stuff, but there's a lot of stuff to it. I mean, I think it's just figuring out like what your motivations are for video, and then you can figure out, you know, is Wistia fit or not, or, you know, am I better off trying something else?
Definitely. I guess maybe we're done with the demo now. Maybe the audience wonder why we're not seeing your face. So let's get back on that so they can see me and see you. Okay. So audience, just give us a few minutes. We're gonna, you know, have you see Chris and you see me at the same time while we're talking. And that's the beauty of Skype. You can get all these things done so easy, just to switch a button.
Pretty good.
Okay, now I spoke too fast. I'm gonna edit that part out and just make it look seamless. Because right now I don't know why I can't see. I can't see you yet.
Weird. I can see you.
You can see me?
Yeah, and I can see you, and I mean, I can see me in the little.
Let me hang up. Let me hang up. I'll call you back. Demo, and I was just curious to find out, you know, some kind of, you know, success stories of how clients of yours are using Wistia, so that you know, we can give the others some ideas of what they can do when they you know, get started.
Yep. I mean, I think that the thing that is one of the most impressive ways that I see people using Wistia, or getting impressive results, I guess I should say, is actually the customer testimonial. So it is getting your customers on camera talking about your product, talking about your service, or actually, really, it's getting them on camera talking about their problems and how they solve them with your product. Because there's kind of, you know, there's a real magic that happens when someone has an issue in general and someone else gives them a referral, helps them solve a problem. And it's a hard thing to pull off, like in day-to-day business, I would say, of like having your customers talk to others if they didn't already have a relationship. I think if they did, that's going to happen. That's what word of mouth is. But if it's, I'm getting a new customer and I'd like them to talk to somebody, it could be a lot to ask to say to an existing customer, hey, can you take time out of your day and your busy schedule to tell them about, how you're using Wistia? And it's really great when they do and people do, but when you interview a customer and you get them onto your website, you're essentially just doing that with every person who shows up. And, the videos need to be genuine, and, that means that sometimes showing the good and the bad and sometimes showing when we've done it, when the videos have been not super like Wistia is great, but much more this is how we solve problems, and we have to solve them with Wistia, they're way better. But I've seen people get huge results out of that in terms of the number of conversions that they're getting, and even just word of mouth. I think, in general. And you and I have talked about this before in the past, but helping to put it to your company really makes a difference. It's something you can do that is really differentiated. There's a reason why all the multi-level marketers do it, because it works. And that's not my jam, but they figured it out. Those guys are experts, and I think you can look at that and try to figure out for yourself, what are the things that I can bring into my company that can make it unique. I think in general, it's always good, for example, to meet with people in person. I find that if I can meet with customers in person, even after they're already a customer, we can build stronger relationships. And I think that's natural because people are used to being together in person. But it's really hard to do that when you're selling stuff online. It's hard to find the time. It's hard to figure out, people are all over the world. This is also the enormous benefit of selling stuff online. And we have customers on every continent except Antarctica, and I'm pretty bummed we don't have anyone in Antarctica at the moment, but we'll get them. But I just think that just getting yourself on there and adding that genuine layer is really important, and I've seen a lot of people have great success with it. I wouldn't necessarily just put your face and they're going to come to see a product or a service or company first, and then they're going to want to see you second. So, probably don't have the videos of you going bowling with your girlfriend last weekend, on the front page of your website. But I don't think it would be unreasonable to have a link to your personal bio, goes back to your homepage, and have that video of you guys going bowling. I think people like that. So, and the data shows that it's engaging and it works.
Definitely. And what I'm hearing from what you said is if you want to do videos about your service, then focus more on the benefits of, how does your product or your service help that, help to meet the need. As opposed to talking about the product, really focusing on the product. Because you said, you can go out there and get testimonials from your clients, but have them talk, what was the solution you provided? How did that meet your need? And then also by doing videos on various topics, it helps to give that, a person behind the business. Just like how me and you are talking right now, people know there's Wistia, but they don't know who the people behind it. And now by doing this video, they can get to know who Chris is.
Yeah.
And another thing I like about videos too is that for me personally, I don't like to sit down and write. So by making a video, you now can quickly get your thoughts out there. And in case where I'm interviewing somebody, we share ideas and it's on video. But then you can take that video content, you can transcribe that video content itself, can be turned into articles. Also, you can take that video content, turn it into audio, and that itself can just be something people download and listen to. So it allows you to create even more content just from doing one thing.
Yep. That is correct. I mean, I think there's a lot of people who are really, really great in person, and they struggle to tell their story properly with text. I think there's no question there. And video is a really good way to tell a story. There's a reason that we've seen an enormous shift over the last 5 years with video, and I would say in the business world in the last 2 years. It's just such an engaging thing. And what I like to talk about actually is that how is all commerce ever put together up until like mail order catalogs. Like you bought stuff from people in person. That's how everything ever was.
Yeah.
So now you buy stuff online and there's like no phone number to call and there's no email address and you don't know who you're buying stuff from and the relationship aspect is just gone.
Yeah.
And video is a way to bring some of it back. I mean, I think and we like that. I mean, there's a reason why there are morning talk shows every day with talking heads. The research has shown that people like to watch that. And people think it's because when we were all sitting around, like, being cavemen, like, stomping on sticks or whatever, we'd sit around the fire in the morning and, like, grunt at each other. So, I think the reason why people like watching videos is because you get to watch people and learn from them. And I think it's also why a lot of the businesses that add video to their sites will see a huge increase in conversion, like right out of the gate. We've seen that many, many times that someone put like a video on a landing page and the conversion rate doubled. And I think that's because it's all of these things together. It's like something that's more genuine. It's putting a face to a product. It is also like videos can explain things in much more simple terms. When you have audio and video, audio and images together, there's some research that says that if you just have someone like read text and then you ask them to recall it the next day, they recall like 15% of it or something. Yeah. But if you watch a video, they recall like 65% of it. I mean, it's a pretty enormous difference. And I think that's because even if you read a lot, you don't spend 12 hours a day reading most of the time. You spend your life living your life, and you might spend 2 hours a day reading. That to me would seem like a lot. So, I think it's all of those things combined.
Definitely. And one thing too is with videos is that when you putting out videos that people can actually connect with you and genuinely get to know you, because it's really easy for people to tell if you're faking it because they're seeing it, right? So. Yep. By being able to really connect with people and genuinely reach out to them, that's one thing I think video does that other mediums do not do.
Correct. Yeah.
And now people keep talking about viral videos, because that's like all the rage on YouTube and all these websites. How can you get that many clicks? But from the aspect of being entrepreneurs who are small business owners who are doing making videos, how does that relate to us? Viral versus function, like.
I think if you can make a viral video, great. I think it's a lot harder than most people think. And even if you make an amazing video, if you can't seed it in the right spots to get people to the right like power players to share it, then it's definitely not going to go viral. But like most of the time, the viral videos we see today are, I would say, there's a much larger percentage of viral videos we see today that are built by big brand agencies that are just truly trying to make viral videos.
Yeah.
Like I think the Old Spice stuff is a good example. They went and they made that commercial, and then their videos became super viral, and they made tons of different interviews with the Old Spice guy. I like talking to people, and like when you think about how many views they got on YouTube and all the other iterations of people putting on other sites, it's a ton of views. But like the cost of that was very significant.
Definitely.
It's definitely many multi-million-dollar campaign that they're putting together to create the content. And a lot of the viral videos I see that I'm impressed with, and off of them they don't look super polished for a reason that they're just incredibly expensive to put together. So yes, you're not paying for the distribution, but you're paying to create a lot. Yeah. So for startups, I think there's one company whose viral video I've seen recently that I really was impressed with. This company called Busuu, and the point of the video is about how there's this language that the people who speak it are all dying out, and everyone should come to Busuu.com and learn how to speak Busuu. And in the video, there's a song that they sing, the Busuu song, and they literally say Busuu like 1,000 times. I don't even know, maybe even more than that. They just don't stop saying Busuu. They're like Busuu, Busuu, just going. And I watched this video and I'm like, wow, that really struck me. Like, what an interesting story, and like, what a nice little video. And then later, I thought to myself, I should check out that site. What was the name of it? Boostu. I actually remembered it, which I think is pretty shocking. Most startups, you got to get someone to see your stuff like 4, 5, 10 times before they remember your name. Unless you have a particularly great name, it's pretty hard to get people to remember you. So I was shocked that I remembered them. And then I went to their site, and the site was not just about learning Boostu, which you could do. It's about learning any language. And it was just like, wow, that actually made sense. Like, the whole concept of this video was interesting. It was engaging. It was fun. It was well done. Didn't look like it cost a ton of money, but it took a lot of time, a lot of creative effort. And it went pretty viral, and it was a good deal. And I think, stuff like that can work, but that stuff is really hard and takes a lot of time. And, your office, like, parodying some like existing funny video or whatever, or some TV show, that might work, but like, it probably is not going to do that great a job for your brand. Yeah. Like, the stuff that is like really well aligned with exactly what the thing does, that I think is more interesting. So, if it's something you want to try to do, go for it. I personally don't think I know anyone who's ever actually said they were doing that and had a video go viral, but, anything's possible.
I guess the thing really with viral is that, maybe you might not really necessarily be in control of the video going viral in the first place. And if you really want to try to do like what the big guys do, you're going to end up spending a lot of money. So really, with video, just focus on the function.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I mean, my expectation is, if you're going to make a viral video, assume that no one will see it except for the people who already come to your website, and be happy with that. If your strategy is to grow with viral videos, like, you have a pretty shitty strategy. So I've never seen it happen, and that's it. But if please prove me wrong. I'd love to be proved wrong. And if you have a formula that works, great. But I just don't really buy it. So I would say focus on function, focus on benefits, and it's worth trying. If you have the money, go for it, try it. But I would make the goal something that you would be happy with people seeing if they just saw it on your site. And like, that's what I would do. If we ever tried to do that, we would try to do something that we would think like, what, if just the people who come to Wistia.com see this thing, then like, hopefully they have a smile on their face and they appreciate it, and great, that's it.
And I want to really end on a high note too, because people might, when they hear video, they start thinking of, expensive budgets. Myself, I was guilty of that too, thinking, I need to get like halogen lamps and all this craziness. And the reality is that video these days, you can get started with videos for, very cheap. It's not that expensive. Right now, what we're doing is having a discussion about videos via Skype, which is free. And I'm using a tool called VOD Banner to end up recording the tool. And my light is just a fluorescent lamp. it's nothing to it. And it's just really about function, creating something that's functional. So, a lot of people just have this concept that getting in video is going to be too expensive. And so that drops out a lot of people in the first place. So if you as an entrepreneur takes the initiative to learn what you need to do video, you're already standing above the crowd. I mean, out of the crowd, basically, and really connecting with your audience. So that's my own 2 cents in this. And Chris, before we go, I want you to, leave, the audience member listening to this right now with, that word of advice that will actually encourage them to move past that fear of, making videos.
Yeah, I would just say it's, as you just said, it's not as hard as you would expect, and there are a lot of cameras out there if you want to shoot live action stuff that are really cheap. I mean, the Flip is a fine camera to start with. I just shot some stuff with my iPhone 4. It looked great, I think these cameras are all around that you can use anyway. I think Skype is an amazing thing. Hop on some live stream and like talk to your users, and it's just, all of that stuff is actually really cheap, and it takes time, but it doesn't take as nearly as much time as it used to take. I I think the other thing is you can make some amazing content with screen sharing tools, with ScreenFlow for the Mac and with Camtasia for the PC. I guess Camtasia is also on the Mac, but I'm a ScreenFlow fan. Every single video on Wistia.com was made by, or maybe 95% of them were made by me, with ScreenFlow, and ScreenFlow cost $80. And I think we probably had, somewhere in the order of 300,000 views across the videos on our sites. There's no question that the videos are the things that explain our product and that get people excited and that demystify all that stuff. And it cost $80. So, I just think, they weren't as good when we first started as they are now. We learned how to improve them. I mean, the first ones we'd get like 30% of people to watch them all the way through. Yeah. Now we're up to like 80%. On pretty, or 80 or 90 for most of the stuff. And it's just clear that it's better than it used to be. And I look at it now and I'm like, this is shit. I want to make this better. But I get to do that because I have data and I've learned from it and I've made the videos. So I just think it's a lot easier than you would expect. You just have to start.
Definitely. And just so we can reiterate the point, you say you had data that you used to improve. Okay, is there an example of which data you used to improve any of your videos that you can tell us? Sure,
yeah. So, I mean, our videos are all under a minute now. When we first started, we had some that were like 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes, and we found that people just would not come close to watching them all the way through. Actually, here's a good story. So we launched our tracking, okay? Because when we first started, we didn't have the tracking. And this is one of the first videos that we're sending out about the tracking, right? Because we just launched. And I send the video out to like 50 people in the press. And I look, and a lot of people, like almost all of them came to watch the video. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing,
Yeah.
And it was like 1.5 minutes long. But the part about the tracking was at the end. And it was at the end because I thought, go out with a bang. George Costanza style, go out on a high. And so we had at the end. Guess what? Like, everybody turned it off before they got to that. Because, like, when we went through all the other updates that we had made on the system or whatever, which we were proud of, they were just not nearly as exciting as analytics. But we put them first because we thought the analytics was what was important. We should end with the analytics. And I just could not believe this. Like, we just sent this thing out to like 50 people in the press. I actually got them to click the link, and then like no one knew about the analytics. So I went back and I looked at a couple people that I thought looked particularly interested, and I said to them again, hey, did you catch the analytics part? This is the thing. And they were like, oh, wow, this is amazing. And then they covered us. That was the last time that we made a video where the punchline was at the end.
So basically your lesson there was the punchline should be the beginning. What are they going to learn from this video should be what they should first hear.
I actually think this is exactly the same the way that newspaper articles are written, which is like, if you read a newspaper article, the first sentence tells you the entire thing. And then the next sentence tells you a little bit more detail. And then the next paragraph is like a little bit more. But if you just read the first sentence of every newspaper article, you know what it's about. Mm-hmm. And we should have done the exact same thing on that video, and that's what we do now. It's like we try to take the punchline and get it as far into the beginning as possible, because then the most people are going to see it that can possibly see it. So, like, if you're a startup, right, you want credibility. I mean, I think that's what we all want. We want credibility. That's how anybody gives a crap about what we're doing, right? And like, the way that I've done that in investor pitches is I go in there and the first slide is like our growth. I just show the growth. It's like, boop, and then they listen, right? The same thing is true with your video. It should just be like, bam, like, what is this thing? Why do I care? And then get into why they care. Go into the deeper stuff. Talk about how it works. Like, talk about all the other things that someone who actually cares now is going to want to learn about. But like, start with a bang, I think, definitely. And, that's exactly the kind of thing we learned. We also learned, just really not to pitch. just explain. I mean, that's the thing for us. Like, we'd always end every video with like a 10-second thing being like, this is what Wistia does. Come to Wistia, sign up for a free trial today. And the drop-off rates were pretty silly when we started to do that pitchy mode. And what we found is that people would leave the website after the video, right? So they'd drop out 40 seconds in, they'd turn it off, and they'd leave Wistia.com. When we changed that, like, sign up at Wistia, blah, 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 to slide at the end, so we cut out like 15 seconds.
A slide?
They would all, just a slide, just like one still image at the end.
Okay.
Like the final image of the video. They would just watch more videos. So they wouldn't leave. They would just be like, oh, I want to learn more. And I really think the evidence was very clear, at least for us. Stop pitching. Just like explain. Just explain. And that reflected our copy too. I mean, we just try to be just benefits and just explain them. And, you know, if you don't like it, fine. But we're not going to try to like pitch someone really hard. And the result is that people stick around longer and learn more.
And I really like this because, you know, I can't keep saying good things about Wistia. It's really very good. So if you guys want to, you know, really go in and dive in and see how, you know, how your videos are resonating with your audience, Wistia is the tool. I've not found anything like it, and I'm sharing it with you guys. So Chris,
thanks.
How best can the audience get a hold of you?
The easiest way is on Twitter. On Twitter, I'm C as in Chris, and then Savage, which is my last name. Like an animal, like a savage animal. You can also find me at savagethoughts.com. That's my website. Or you can email me just at Chris, CHRIS, at Wistia, WISTIA.com. So any of those places are a good place to go.
Thanks, Chris, for doing the interview. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. It was really fun.
Thanks. We're done.
Cool.
So welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I really want to know what exactly you think. I mean, if I suck and if I'm not doing a good job, I want to know, because by your input and your comments, your suggestions, your feedback, that's how I'm going to improve on the entire package of what I'm sharing with you. I really want to improve so that you know that your time is well spent when you watch my videos. And if I do good on interviews, and if you like certain things I do, please let me know so I can even improve upon that as well. And I want to thank you really, because your time is well spent, and I mean, your time is important to me, and I want to make sure that I continuously put this information right in front of you. So I want you to join my community, and in order to do that, you need to click on the link that says get the free ebook, enter in your name and email, and you will receive as a gift from me my free ebook titled The Entrepreneur's Guide to Running a Business in the Cloud. The reason I do that is because I want to share with you that information. You can check it out and make use of it in your business. In the same vein, I will be sending you email updates every time I have new blog posts, as well as if I have new stuff that is not even on the blog, I want to share with you. That way we can stay in contact. One more thing. Before you go, I want to also let you know that if you are really serious about finding, hiring, training, and even working with virtual assistants, if right now you want to get that started, why don't you sign up for my free webinar where I share everything about the entire process? And you can get to do that by clicking on the link on the very top of my blog where it says sign up for the free webinar. Again, thanks for watching the video, and I hope to see you next time.